Yes, sir.
So basically, I am not moving the slides. I have just written some NBA terms. So I am going to relate these terms. So we have already discussed about the PEO, then the PO, and the significance of PSO. So when there are some uh, points, those are not covered in the PO according to my program, then certainly I can introduce the PSOs. So that is the program specific outcomes.
Okay.
So program specific outcomes. So that can be different from the program wise. If it is IT program, CS program, management programs, so those specific outcomes can be changed accordingly. Okay. So when I have decided that I need to launch a program and I need to decide the program educational objectives, certainly the program outcomes, then I can add some PSOs. Then it is fixed that I am going to launch the program. Then those, how I can achieve those outcomes? For that, I need to teach some courses. So when the courses comes, then there is an existence of CEO and the CO. Certainly, these are the course objectives and the course outcomes. So for achieving the PO and the PSO, I need to teach the different courses in my program. Suppose if I take the example of BTech in under the Rajiv Gandhi Pradyogik Vishwavidyalaya, certainly there are 39 to 40 subjects that we are going to be taught in a 4-year or 8 semesters. So in every semester we are having the 4 to 5 courses that we are being taught. So what is the purpose of those courses? The courses are aligned with my PO and PSO. So I need to identify those courses. Those courses will help me to achieve the PO and the PSO. So PO and PSO will also make me able to which courses I need to teach in my program, because there are variety of programs available, courses available, so that I need to identify which courses are more related with my program. So according to or depending on my PO and PSO, I can identify those courses that should align with my in my align of PO and the PSO. So when I have, after that, if I identified the courses, then I need to certainly identify the course objectives. Suppose I am teaching the data structure in 3rd semester, then what are the objectives of my that course data structures? Then I need to identify the course outcomes. Then after teaching this subject to my student, what my student will be able to. So I need to identify the course outcomes. So make a sense? Are you understand? I justified all the terms. You understand or not? So that we could go ahead.
Yes, sir. To a very large extent, yes.
Okay. So certainly I have related all the terms. Those are frequently asked in the NBA. What is the PO, PSO, CO, and the CO? Certainly I have just pinned them in a sequence. The PO, PSO, CO, and the CO. No. So now I am moving in my formal presentation. So agenda is what is OBE, accreditation, vision, mission, objective, PO, CO, PSO. Certainly, I will emphasize on the CO-PO mapping, assessment, and evaluation. That will be my emphasis point. Otherwise, I am just discussing all in the very brief. So OBE, certainly we all know that is the outcome-based education. Means the teaching that we are giving to the student, it should be in the outcome-based education, or it should also be deterministic, so that we could be able to determine whether we have achieved our outcomes or not. So that is also the challenge. That is the NBA is focusing on that. Okay, what are the ways in which we can calculate or we can analyze the quality? Because quality is a very vague term. It cannot be identified or it cannot be calculated in numbers. So we are trying to emphasize some procedures, policies, and the process methods by which we can just certainly assure whether we are just providing the quality education or not. That is the, I think, main focus of NBA or the OBE. So that is the outcome based education. Certainly, what is the accreditation? So that is known. There is an body that is going to accredit that program, whether you are just giving in alignment of the NBA or the outcome based education or not. So that is the accreditation. NBA, certainly it is a National Board of Accreditation. This is a body of the government of India that is just accredit the programs. Certainly. Now the NBA also have some vision and missions that we our colleges also have vision and mission. The vision is to be an accredited agency for international standard, ensuring the highest degree of credibility, quality, and relevance. So we need to just, certainly NBA is focusing on the quality aspect, and the mission is how we can achieve that quality. So vision is to achieve the quality, and the way and the process by which we can achieve that quality is called the mission. So NBA is also have the some mission. So NBA, the major objectives of NBA are to assess and accredit, evolve standards and parameters for assessment. Means the NBA is evolving regularly. It is not at 2012 and now it is improving day by day. And in 2022, the NBA has changed many processes, many criteria. So we need to move ahead and we need to update itself also with the process and the time. Promote excellence through benchmarking. It also includes some benchmarks. We also need to improve our benchmarks while we are studying or teaching. Certainly the PEO that we have already discussed. The PEOs are the broad statement that describe the career and professional accomplishment. Normally, the PEOs are determined after the 4 to 5 years, the programs that have been launched. Means if I am launching my program today, so I cannot determine or calculate my PEOs. So PEOs basically are the long-term goal that have been certainly achieved when just my program have been 4 to 5 years old. Certainly the PEO says why does the program exist in the first place? Means what is the existence of my program that I am going to be launched? That is the PEO. That is the, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Certainly the PEO says why my program exists. What is the existence of my program? That is determined with the help of program educational objectives or PEO. Now certainly the PEOs are three. PEO1, that is a preparation, professionalism, and the lifelong learning. Vision and mission. So how we can relate the vision and mission? I think we all knows. So vision is a futuristic statement that we want to achieve, and the mission is the way by which we can achieve that vision. So how the vision and mission are related? So vision is the goal and mission is the way or the process by which we can achieve that goal. So I have one example of my college, Acropolis. The Acropolis having the vision of to be an academic leader for the development of human. So every college that is NBA accredited need to identify his or her vision and mission. So there is an example. So vision to be leader in the development of human potential and to meet the global challenges. Certainly we are having some missions also to create intellectual simulating learning environment, to impart values into the students, to develop positive attitudes, employability in the students. So these are the missions of our institute. So these are the examples. It cannot be taken as same. Every student, every institute need to decide his or her own vision and mission. So example can be taken or reference can be taken from anywhere, but you need to identify your skills and your potential, and you need to inculcate your potential and your best practices in your vision and mission. Certainly the department also having the some vision and mission. So a college having some alignment with the vision and mission, and college may have different departments. So each department must also have some vision and mission, and this would be aligned with the college vision and mission. It cannot be independently the department is deciding vision and mission and the college is deciding vision and mission, and there is no relationship between them. So we need to take care when we are deciding the vision and mission of the college, then certainly the department should have some alignment with the college. Then the course objectives and the outcomes. So here is the main, the teacher specific, basically the vision and mission can be decided by the management or the higher authorities. But on the day-to-day basis, what the faculties is facing or what the challenges are there. So for the faculty point of view, this slide is very important when I'm talk about the course objective and the course outcomes. Every time in every semester, we need to identify the course that we need to taught, or for that particular subject, we need to just identify the objectives and the outcomes, why I'm teaching this subject and what are my objectives, certainly. So it is not obvious that I have decided the objectives and the outcomes once, and it is going to be long last for the 10 years. Every year it should be refined. So every teacher, when he is teaching the particular subject and he is having some pre-decided objectives and outcomes, so he can also put their efforts to modify their objectives and the outcomes. So it is not that these are the single-handed governed objectives and the outcomes. Every time they can be refined, the objectives can be changed of the course and the outcomes can also be changed of the course. So every time when you are teaching this subject repeatedly, you try to just change them, to try to improve them so that we can impart the quality and we can align our courses with the POs. So this is the diagram. The objectives are basically teacher centric. So when we are deciding the objectives, so we are deciding our objectives, means I am delivering this course to my student, then what are my objectives? So objectives are basically teacher centric. The teacher need to decide, if I am teaching this subject, what should be my goal, what should be my objectives. And those objectives are when instructed by the teacher, then it becomes the outcomes. Suppose my objective is I need to teach the student about the stack, linked list and the array. So this is my objective. And what will be the outcome then? If I am teaching the stack, linked list and the array, then there should be certainly some specific outcomes, or those also should be deterministic in nature. It should not be like I cannot determine, I cannot analyze the outcomes. The outcomes should be deterministic or it should be calculatable. I mean, it can be determined. So certainly the objectives are teacher centric and the outcomes are student centric. So for that alignment, we need to identify the objectives. We need to identify our objectives. If I am teaching this subject, what should be given from my side to the students? And the outcomes, certainly the student centric. The program outcomes, certainly we all know the outcomes, program outcomes have been taken from the Washington Accord. They are in 12 in number. So PO1 is the engineering knowledge, PO2 problem analysis, PO3 design development of solutions, PO4 conduct investigation, modern tools, the engineering society, environment, ethics, individual communication, project management, and lifelong learning. I think these program outcomes are the same while whether we are teaching in Madhya Pradesh or in any other part of the country, these program outcomes are same. So we all know. Then the PSOs. So the existence of PSOs in the alignment of the PO, if my program is specific and it has some gap related to the PO, then certainly I can introduce my PSOs. So PSOs can be specific to the program, whether it is management program, computer science program, mechanical program, engineering, or even the electrical electronics. So in that alignment, I can just specifically design my PSOs. So it can also be on the different on the institute basis. So your institute may have different PSOs that I have. So I have taken the example of my institute. The PSO1 make use of modern languages such like MongoDB, cloud computing, big data. So these are the specific to my college. It can be different for your college also. And the PSO2, PSO3. So certainly the PSOs are 2 to 4 in numbers. So when you are deciding the PSOs for your college, so it should be, so it is the best practice. It should be 2 to 4 in number. Okay. Certainly this is the graph. I think my PPT is moving or not?
Yes, sir. Moving.
Moving. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So certainly in this PPT, you are seeing I have the bow as the CO and PO is the target. Means PO all the time PO is the target when I am hitting with my course. The CO is my course outcome. So every time course is trying to hit to the PO. So whenever I am deciding the number of courses to my program, I need to just identify the merits of my course or that should be aligned in the PO line. So I think this picture shows the relation of CO and the PO. Okay, so as much as alignment will be there with the CO and the PO, your target will be hit definitely. So every time you teach the course in that way, your program outcome should be achieved. So you try to target your PO and you hit with the help of CO. So CO is the mission and PO is the vision basically. If I can relate with the vision and mission, so PO to achieve the PO is my vision, or to achieving that PO, CO is my mission. So with the help of the course outcome, course objective that I am teaching in a particular semester, that should be hit to my program outcome. Certainly this analogy we have already discussed, the framework, the core program framework, then the PO program outcome, then the curriculum and teaching learning, then the course outcome. So this is the diagram that we have already discussed before. Bloom's taxonomy that we all know, that I need to discuss. We all know what is the Bloom's taxonomy, how we can include this taxonomy in our day-to-day teaching. Certainly this is the diagram how we can just go for that. Suppose I am teaching one subject, data structure. So how can I relate this diagram with my subject? So first I need to just watch or study my scheme, what my scheme offers particular for that subject. So if you are teaching any subject in your college, so how you can proceed for the NBA or for planning for that course. So whatever the subject you have taken, like the data structure, you go for the scheme of that subject, from where you will able to identify what are the credits are available. What are the some limitations? I need to go for the lab, I need to go for the lectures, tutorials. So that planning will be there in the scheme. Basically, this is for the teacher. The teacher cannot every time change the planning and all these things. The scheme is given and the course, the syllabus is also given. So from that aspect, we have designed this diagram. So you go for the scheme, identify the credits, numbers, then go for the syllabus, study the syllabus, all the units that are given in the syllabus, then try to decide the course objectives. So normally there are 5 units. So you may also have the 5 objectives, or you can also have more than that. There is no such guideline. If my course having the 5 units, so I need to have a 5 objectives. It can be less, it can be more also. After that, if I identify the course objectives, these are the teacher centric. So certainly I need to go for the course outcomes, that is the student centric. After that, I have decided the course outcomes. 1 minute. This one. So if I have identified the course outcomes, then I need to go for the tools identification. Means the questions that I going to ask to the student. If there are certainly some outcomes, so for whether I have achieved that outcome or not, I need to ask, I need to go for some assessment methods or tools. Suppose MST, MCQ questions, interview, viva, presentation. So these are called the assessment methods or tools. So first I need to identify the tools. So which tools is related to the my course. Sometimes my course is only the practical. Sometimes it is only theoretical. Sometimes it is both practical and theoretical. So basis on that, I need to identify the assessment methods. So it should be compulsory that there should be a one MST mid-sem test. There should be two MST. There should be one quiz. So that tools need to be identified. Sometimes it also be given from the university sites. If you are affiliated institute, then you need to follow that guideline. And you can also add your assessment methods or tools if you want to add something. Like the presentation is not there, but I would like to go for the presentation to my students, then I can add that assessment method in addition of compulsory methods. I cannot remove those methods because those methods are prescribed by the university basically. So those are the compulsory, and I can also add my assessment methods to those methods. So that is the tools identification. Then the marks distribution. If I'm identify the tools, how much weightage I am going to give that tools or assessment method. Suppose the mid-sem test would be of 20 numbers, quiz of 10 numbers, then the presentation will be of 5 numbers, then GD will be the 2 numbers, 3 numbers. So that weightage can be given according to you, whatever the marks you are
Excuse me,
having.
sir.
Yes.
So you have told that, for the tool identification, is there any tool example for for like multiple choice question? If I have multiple choice question exam, or if I have a theoretical exam like in like system analysis and design subject, we have long answers over there. So what are the tools that can be used to for
Yes,
judging for?
for judging. So it can be ma'am test, like the written exam. You are giving the 5 questions in the exam, and the student is writing in the copy, and you need to check. That can be called as a test, MST, mid-sem test.
Okay. Or if I wanted to be in online mode or in e-learning mode, so what will be the tool over there?
It can be the MCQ, multiple choice question. For that, we can also plan the Google form in which we can
Okay.
ask some.
So then the mode
objective
will be
questions.
changed. There will be
Yes,
no in
definitely,
descriptive. Okay.
definitely. So when you are going for the online, definitely the
Okay.
tools and methods will be changed. If you are going to the offline, the methods will be changed.
Okay. Okay.
So
Thank you.
yes, so that is the teacher perspective. That is the teacher perspective, and you are the authority to decide along with the university prescribed methods or tools and methods. You can add your own methods because the objectives you have decided, course outcome you have decided. So how to determine those outcomes? I need to identify those methods. With the help of those methods, I will identify whether my outcome is achievable, I have achieved or not. So that should be in aligned. So whenever you are just deciding your outcomes, suppose I have decided one outcome. My student should be able to write a program for stack. My student should be able to write a program for stack. So certainly
Yes.
for fulfilling that outcome, I need to plan some assessment method. So I have decided one assessment method that I will organize the coding competition in my for my student coding competition. In coding competition, I will try to give a program to the students that you need to write a program for the stack operations. So basis on that, I will analyze the performance of my students and analyze the performance. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So tools can be identified. If they are given from the university side, they can also be taken, and you can also add your methods, assessment methods. Okay. After that, we come to the marks distribution. So the assessment methods that we have identified, how much weightage we are given those assessment methods. Sometimes test can be of 20 numbers, quiz can be of 10 numbers, presentation can be of 5 numbers, and any other method can have some weightage also. So you need to identify the weightage and you need to give there. And then after that, if I have identified the tools and the method, I have given some marks. So finally, I need to launch that method. Suppose I have planned the MST in the September first week. So I need to go for that in the September first week. I will go for the test one and I will analyze the answer of the students and I will analyze the result. Okay. Then when we have just completed our assessment methods, the student have gone through all the assessment methods, then I will go for the mapping result in the range 1 to 3. So normally we mapped our achievement or the assessments in the mapping of 1 to 3. So suppose the 3 is when I have achieved my target. For that I need to set the target. Sometimes we set the targets कि 50% स्टूडेंट शुड अचीव द 50% मार्क्स. मीन्स अगर मेरे क्लास में 100 स्टूडेंट हैं तो 50 बच्चों के जो मार्क्स हैं वो 50% से ज्यादा आना चाहिए. तो सपोज आई एम लॉन्चिंग द टेस्ट वन दैट इज हैविंग द 20 मार्क्स. So I have decided the goal in the test one. My 50% student should be able to achieve the at least 50% marks. So if this target is fulfilling, then my range is 3. Means I am getting the 3. So 1 means low, 2 means moderate, 3 means high. So basically this method is followed in the NBA. So we are assigning the numbers 1 to 3, although we can go for the different method also. Otherwise, when we are go for the CO-PO mapping, we normally assign the 1 to 3. So 1 means my CO is low mapped with PO. 2 means my CO is moderately mapped with PO, and 3 means my CO is highly mapped with the PO. So that is the level 1 to 3 basically. So this is some basic policies. Calculating PO-PSO and the attainment. Finally, I am just calculating whether I have attained PO or PSO. Okay, for my particular course. Suppose I am teaching a data structure, then I need to identify certainly that my subject have been achieved the PO and the PSO that we have decided in the program. Am I clear in this? Or is there any difficulty in this? So I think this diagram is related with every teacher, because every time we need not to decide the vision, mission, and the program outcome PO. Certainly we are related with this diagram. So every time in every semester we need to follow this one also. Okay, the schemes, levels, objectives, outcomes, tools, marks distribution, assessment, mapping, and finally I need to calculate the course outcomes and the CO-PO mapping and the CO-PSO attainment for my particular course. That I need to give my NBA coordinator. Then the NBA coordinator will compile all the results for the 4 years, whether ultimately we have achieved the PO or the PO not. So every course will contribute in the alignment of the PO. So this is the teacher-centric process. Every teacher need to follow this. Okay, so this is the example of the target. Suppose I have set a target. If 60% students getting 70% marks and above, then my attainment level is 3. My CO attainment level is 3. Course outcome attainment. Because we were deciding that whether I have achieved my course outcome, because I have decided some course outcome. So whether I have achieved my course outcome or not, how it will be decided? It will be decided by my target. So if I set the target, 60% students should get the 70% marks and above, then my target is achieved and I will get the attainment level 3. If 40% and above students getting 70% marks and above, then attainment level is 2. Certainly the 40% and above getting 70% marks and above, or it should be a 40% and less likha hua, the less than 40%. then attainment level is 1. It can be anything. This is the only example. This target can be different for your institute also. So if you are going for the NBA for the first time, so you can set the lower target also, like 50%. 50% student getting 50% marks. So it can be my also the target. So it is not just any standard that you need to take the higher targets. So if you are just starting for your course, you take lower targets or small targets. When you achieve those targets, then add some values in them and gradually improve them. Gradually, you can improve your targets year wise or semester wise. Okay. Okay, so my presentation is over now. So certainly this is the one link. With the help of this, we can just design our objectives. So just here. My screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
So I am
Yes,
going
sir.
to browse this link, learningobjectives.easygenerator.com. So this is only for the help. Although you can decide your objectives and outcome without this link. So this is only for your help purpose. Suppose the first question is, who is the learner? My screen is visible? The browser,
Yes, sir.
Browser is visible. So with the help of this website, we can just design our objectives. In the first question is, who is the learner? Suppose engineering student. So I am going for the engineering student. So I have written the engineering student. Then you go for the next. Then choose the level of knowledge to obtain. Means there is a Bloom's taxonomy and all the verbs are written here. Means the remembering method having these type of verbs like arrange, define, describe, duplicate, identify, label, list, match, memorize. So you can select any one of them. So these verbs are under the remembering. Likewise, understanding. If you click on the understanding, there are some verbs also classified, convert, defend, describe, and applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So this is a Bloom's taxonomy. So under that level, so that is the basic level of remembering. This is the basic level of Bloom's taxonomy. So in that level, we are having certainly some verbs. So you can select any verbs like describe. So engineering student will be able to describe. Then the next, what is the task to learn? Suppose stack and linked list. Next, what is the condition? There is any condition? After completing the course. So finally, this is my objective that you have read from here. Engineering student will be able to describe stack and linked list after completing the course. So this is my one objective. It can be from the first unit also. Okay. After that, this is a one objective. You can go for the another objective also, the new objective. So you can create new objectives. So in this website, your help will be, you can just identify the Bloom's taxonomy. You can just inculcate the Bloom's taxonomy verbs in your objectives. Am I clear? Am I clear?
आधार कार्ड लागलं तिथे पर्स आहे म्हणजे पर्स मध्ये सॉरी पर्स
अनिता मैम, आपका माइक
Kindly mute your mic, ma'am.
यस
काय करू?
Okay. So certainly after just reading many things, just I am moving on the practical part of this. Means if I have done everything, then how can I calculate or map COPO, CO-PSO mapping? Then I am moving on that part. So we have designed this Excel sheet for our college, and although we have NBA accredited, and we have also got the NBA accredited before 20 days for the 3 years. So this is the guideline. This is the, I think my Excel sheet is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the Excel sheet where I have written some instructions also for my faculty members. So in this, in the first place, you need to just write the subject code for which subject you are planning. So suppose I am planning for the data structure, the code is CS303. So when you will write here, it will reflect in all the sheets. I think this is the simple way, all we know. The name is the data structure. Session 23. The faculty name is Mahavir Jain. Okay. So that I have written here. These are some guidelines. Then the PI index. Now the first thing is I need to map my CO with PO, CO and PSO. So all the time when we are teaching any course, we need to give the mapping of CO-PO and the CO-PSO mapping. Am I right? So in this sheet, I am going to relate the mapping of CO-PO and the CO-PSO. Certainly what you follow, the CO-PO mapping are there, you write 1, 2, 3 abruptly. You write when the CO1, PO1, whether you need to write 1, 2, 3. But I have taken here the different method. So this is more flexible also. This is more flexible. Abruptly, you need not to write the 1, 2, 3. What I have done here, you can see the PO1. So PO1 is already divided into the number of performance indicators. So I think you have already listened the PI. What is the PI? That is the performance indicators. So here each PO, each program outcome have been divided into the number of performance indicators. Otherwise, just reading the statement of my CO and the PO, how can I decide whether should I write to 1, 2 or 3? So there should something missing is there, because otherwise the way of mapping with the CO and the PO is you need to write your CO statement, you need to read your PO statement, you need to read CO and the PO statement all the time, and you need to decide whether you 1 or 2 or 3, whether your CO is low mapped, moderately mapped or highly mapped. So I think in this process, every time we are not involved in that much that we are able to decide whether it is highly mapped or lowly mapped or moderately mapped. So what we do, we certainly write the 2 or 3. Nobody asks why did you write 2 and 3. Okay. So in this method of mine, I have just divided, or it is already given by the NBA. It is not mine. It is given by the NBA. Every PO is divided into the number of performance indicators. So here you have seen this is the PO1. PO1 is divided into the 5 performance indicators. And in the yellow marks area, there is my COs, CO1, CO2, CO3, CO4, CO5. Certainly, if my CO1 is related with the PI indicator 1, then I need to write the 1. I need to place the 1 also. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sure.
If my CO1 is mapped with the PI indicator 1, that I will write the 1. If CO2 is mapped, then I will write the 1. Certainly in all the places I can write the 1. So certainly the process is same also, but you have more flexibility. So PI indicators are more specific than the program outcomes. So you can specifically match with your course outcome here. So if your course outcome matches with the PI1, then you can certainly write the 1, 1, 1, 1. So whenever there is a matching, you can write the 1. You read the statement of the PI, you read the statement of your course outcome, or certainly you put whether it is mapped or not. So you need not to write the 1, 2, 3. You need to write only the whether it is mapped or not. If it is mapped, you put the 1 also. Suppose I am putting the 1 here. Okay. This is my PO1. In case of the PO2, PO2 is divided into the 14 performance indicators. So whenever there is a matched with your CO, you can write the 1. So I am just abruptly putting the 1. Otherwise, this process is by reading. You every time you need to read your CO statement, you need to read your performance indicators. After that, you can decide whether it is mapped or not. At least we are just hiding that process 1, 2, 3. So there is a problem whether should I put a 1, 2, or 3. So at least I can determine whether my CO is mapped or not, matched or not. Even yes or no can be put easily, I think, rather than putting the 1, 2, 3. It can be put like whether it is mapped or whether there is some relation or not in that. So I think it will be the easy method. You put there like this. So just I am putting this so that this is the PO3. So I am just putting 1, 1 so that my mapping is done there. After that, I will show you where the mapping is there. Certainly the PO4. PO5. Okay, now I am going on the PSO. In case of the PSO, as we all know, the PSO are the specific to the program. So these PSOs are not divided into the performance indicators because these PSOs are given by the institute. Okay, so here we need to write the 1, 2, 3. So if it is mapped, this is the 3. So this is the process that we normally do. If my PSO1 is mapped, I return the 3. Okay, so this is the single sheet in which you can easily map your course outcome with the program outcome and the program specific outcomes. You need to write the 1, whether it is mapped or not. So when you complete this process, you will get this sheet. Just I'm moving on to my map sheet. So this is the sheet that you will get when you are putting your mapping in previous sheet. So this sheet is already designed and it will be decided by the previous sheet. So you have decided. So this is the how I have decided whether I am 1, 2, 3. So in the first place that you are seeing that I am highlighting, that is a 5, 5. The PO1 number of performance indicator is 5. In PO2 number of performance indicator is 14. So there is a TPI. TPI means total performance indicators. TPI stands for total performance indicators. Means how much performance indicators a PO1 have. The PO1 have total 5 performance indicators. PO2 have 14 performance indicators. PO3 have 14 performance indicators. It is already given by the NBA. You write this. Okay. After that, how many are mapped? Out of 5, 4 are mapped. If you are seeing here that I have already highlighted, out of 5, 4 are mapped. So what is my mapping grade? 3. How it will be decided? If my mapping level is 67%, then I am getting the 3. If it is 34% and above, I am getting 2. If it is less than 34%, I am getting 1. Means I have decided the calculation of 1, 2, 3. So if the total performance indicators mapped with my CO, those are 67% or above, then I am getting the 3. Means my CO is highly mapped with the PO. If that are less than 67% or 34%, more than 34%, then I am certainly getting the 2. Means my CO is moderately mapped with PO. And if my mapping grade is less than 34%, then I will get the 1. Means my CO is low mapped with PO. Am I right? Making sense?
Yes, sir, to a large extent. Thank you.
Okay. So this
Excuse me,
is-
sir.
Okay. Yes, yes.
So, sorry to disturb, but in previous screen where
Yes.
you have putting the one for the yes, for the performance indicator and the course outcome, there
Correct.
will be mapping, right?
Yes.
So, can we get those performance indicator? Like, I'm little bit confused over here. So, can you please repeat a simple with a simple example?
Okay. 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 The first thing is that these PO and the performance indicators are given from the NBA. It is not decided by me. Just I have put here. So
Yes.
these indicators and the program outcomes are given from the NBA. So just I have put those indicators and the program outcomes in this Excel sheet also. And before that, I have put my COs. So if I am writing my first statement, my first CO is describe and analyze different types of linear data structure like arrays, linked lists, stacks, queues, and their variants. So the subject that I am teaching, so this is the first outcome. So by reading this statement, I will read the first indicators, apply the knowledge of discrete structure, linear algebra, statistics, and numerical techniques to solve problems. So whether my CO1 is mapped with PI1, so by reading the statements, I can use that in the data structure, there are the application of linear algebra and the some techniques, some mathematical techniques are also applied there when we are calculating the performance or the complexity of the program. In that case, the some statistics and the algebra is applied. So certainly I found that it is mapped. So I write the one here. Certainly I write the one.
Okay.
So like CO2, what is my CO2? My CO2 is describe, classify, analyze, and design programs for stack, queue, and their different applications. This is the CO2. It can be different in your case also.
Yes.
That I have decided. So I will read the CO2 and I will read the certainly the PI1, that is the apply knowledge. In this, for achieving the CO2, should I will be familiar with the knowledge of discrete structure, linear algebra. Certainly if it is matched, then I write the one here. Am I clear, ma'am? Making sense?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay. So by reading your course outcomes as well as the program indicators, you just put whether it is mapped or not. Means the program indicator will help you to achieve that course outcome or not. So that is the teacher discrimination. Means you can decide whether this indicator will help to achieve this outcome or not. Or certainly to extent, what we can also do, although I did not do right now, but I suggest you, when you are mapping your course outcome with the performance indicators, if it is matched, you decide the questions also. Means if I am putting the CO1 and the PI1, the one here. So for determining this PI, what question would I ask in my exam? Means CO1 is mapped with the PI1. I am one. So for determining this, for calculating whether I have achieved the CO1 with the help of PI1, I should plan some questions. I should plan some questions also. Making sense?
Yes, sir.
है ना? तो मेरा कहने का मतलब ये है कि जब आपने CO1 के सामने और PI1 के सामने 1 लिखा, इसका मतलब आपका ये मैप हो रहा है. अगर वो मैप हो रहा है तो अब आप उसको डिटरमाइन कैसे करेंगे? तो उसके लिए आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा? आपने जो असेसमेंट मेथड लिए हैं उनमें कुछ ना कुछ क्वेश्चन पूछने पड़ेंगे बच्चों से, बच्चे उनके आंसर देंगे. तो उसके बेसिस पे मैं ये बताऊंगा कि मेरा जो पीआई है वो अचीव हुआ या मेरा जो कोर्स आउटकम है वो अचीव हुआ कि नहीं हुआ. तो दिस इज द बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस when you are mapping your CO with the PO. At the same time, you also plan the questions. Contributing that knowledge means the PI1 is apply the knowledge of discrete structure. So you plan question related to the discrete structures that help you to achieve the CO1. So you plan that question there. There is some knowledge of mathematics and some knowledge of stack and queue. So you relate them and put a question to the student. So that we can justify my question involved the knowledge of discrete structure, linear algebra, statistics, and is also include the knowledge of programming stacks and queues. So how we are achieving? We are just mapping the CO with the PI, and you plan the question also. So this is the best practice. So every time when you map, you plan 2 or 3 questions. So at the end, you would have a 50 to 60 questions in your hand. And after that, you ask those questions in any method, whether you are test 1, quiz 1, MST 1. So you are having the set of 50 questions. You ask any question from that set also. So it will be justifiable from the, you can put your logic in front of the team. Okay, why did you put the 1 here? So if I am put the 1 here, then I need to justify that. Okay, I have asked the question in my assessment methods to justify this mapping. So that is the justification of my mapping. If I have put the 1, suppose I suppose that this is related with my CO1. So if I suppose, then I need to plan for determining that. है ना, अगर आपको लगता है कि ये मैच हो रहा है, तो अगर वो मैच हो रहा है तो उसको डिटरमाइन करने के लिए आपने क्या पूछा? आपने एग्जाम में कुछ पूछा क्या बच्चे से? आपने कोई क्वेश्चन उसके लिए? So that we need to plan. So if you are mapping something, you are just trying to that this is mapped with my CO, then you plan for the question also and ask that question to the student also, so that we can analyze whether we have achieved that mapping or not. Am I clear? Making sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So with the help of this, you only put the 1 or not. So we will get this mapping. Okay. So this is the seed. This is a pre-decided seed. Once you have designed this seed, every time you need not to change here. Okay. So certainly the program outcomes. So here we have written the TPIs. These are the total performance indicators. Then the mapped indicators, what have been mapped. So out of 5, 4 have been mapped. And my mapping grade is 3. How I have decided the mapping grade? So this is the formula. You can see the formula here. I think this sheet is the log. So you can see the formula. If this is the formula, that can also be explained also. The core is, if my mapping grade is percentage is 67, more than 67%, certainly I am getting the 3. So I think if you will calculate 4 out of 5, so what will be the percentage? If I am getting the 4 out of 5, what will be the percentage? Certainly it will be the greater than 67. That is why I am getting the 3. So whenever I am getting, I think I am getting the 2 here. So like out of 14, 8 are mapped. So what is the percentage? If I am getting the 8 out of 14, then the percentage will be less than 67%. That is why I am getting the 2. Am I right or making sense? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so likewise, we can put the number of mappings and we can just, this is our interest area. This is the mapping. Finally, this is the mapping that we abruptly do. Otherwise, what we do, we put the 1, 2, 3 over here. There is a CO, there is a PO, there is a PO, and we write 1, 2, 3 here. So that mapping we are just getting from that process. So I think before that, what we do, just we put the 1, 2, 3 here. But with the help of that process, we are getting this mapping. That is the highlighted one that I'm highlighting. So this is my final mapping with the CO, PO, and the PSO. It means the CO1 is mapped, highly mapped with PO1. It is highly mapped with CO2. It is highly mapped with CO3, CO4. Certainly, it is moderately mapped with CO5. So this is the mapping, and this is the PSO mapping. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now moving ahead. So after mapping, what we need to do, we need to identify the assessment methods. So this is the next sheet. So I think it is visible. So in this sheet, what we okay. So in this sheet, what we need to do, we need to identify the assessment methods. So I have written some assessment methods here that is pre-decided. Whether it is eligible for my course or not. If it is eligible, then I will put the number. So like the survey, review, and the research papers are not applicable for my subject, then I did not assign any number here. Likewise, the minor mini project is not related with my course, then I did not put any number here. So those methods are related or I have been identified for my course, then only I will assign some numbers. Like the first one is the class attendance. So if you are teaching your subject, how much lecture you have taken. So you need to just describe here like the lecture wise. For completing the CO1, I take the 10 lectures. For completing the CO2, I took the 10 lectures, CO3 10, CO4 10 or CO5 10. Or whatever the lectures you are taking for completing the CO1 or the unit 1, you put the number of attendance here. Okay. In the second column, you are just giving the weightage. The attendance weightage is 2. So when the student is attending the 10 classes for the CO1, I am giving the 2 number to the students. It can be decided by you. You are the teacher. You can decide how much weightage you need to give for attendance. Here I have given the 2 number for the CO1. If the student is attending the 10 lectures, then I am giving the 2 numbers. For the CO2, if the student is attending the 10 lectures, I am giving the 2 number. Okay. Now moving ahead, this is the about the attendance, like the MST. So if I am conducting the MST in my course, then I need to assign the weightage, certainly. So suppose MST1 is for 20 numbers. MST1 is for 20 numbers. So I need to bifurcate those numbers into the units. So suppose for CO1, I will assign the weight for the 4 number. CO2 4 number, CO3 4 number, CO4 4 number, and the CO5 is the 4 number. So overall, there is a 20 numbers for my MST, but those numbers are bifurcated in the units. So I will ask 4 number question from the unit 1. Likewise, unit 2, unit 3, unit 4, unit 5. It can be different in your case also. That can be your planning, can be your decision, what you need to decide here. So likewise, the theory quiz. So I have decided the total number is 10, but those 10 numbers will be divided into the number of course outcomes of units, like 2, 2, 2, 2. So from every unit, I will ask the 2 numbers questions for completing the theory quiz. Okay. Like the theory assignment, I will give the theory assignment to my course. And how will I distribute the numbers? Total, there will be a 10 numbers for the assignment. And those 10 numbers will be divided into the number of units, like 2, 2, 2, 2 for each unit. So normally, here we are having the 5 units in our courses. That is why it is divided into the 5 numbers. So according to your, whatever your syllabus contains, you can divide those numbers in that portions. Is it clear?
Yes.
sir.
Okay. So again,
Yes, sir.
this is also decided in the internal and the external assessment. So this highlighted one is the internal assessment. The portion that I have highlighted, it is for the internal assessment. Okay. So if you are the affiliated institute, then certainly your university will conduct the examination. Then this is the external examination. In the external examination, 70% will be the theory and 30% will be the external examination. So total 100%. So there will be a 70% theory exam that will be conducted by the university, and this is the external examination that is also conducted by the university exams. So my whole process is divided into the internal, the numbers the college is having in our hand, the numbers the university is having in our hand. Okay, so in our case, in my subject, the data structure is of 150 numbers. So out of 150 numbers, 80 numbers are in the internal hands and the remaining numbers are in the external hands. Sorry, 50 numbers are in the internal hands and the 100 numbers are in the external hands. So out of 100 numbers, university will ask the theory examination for 70 numbers and the 30 number for the external examination. Okay. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if I have decided the assess, any question? Okay. So if till now we have decided the assessment methods and we have decided the weightage to those assessment methods. And what is the next step? Now we need to launch those assessment methods that I planned. The MST1 will be held in the September. Now the September is come and I need to go for the assessment. Okay, so after filling this, I am going to the next sheet. This is the assessment sheet. Now in this assessment sheet, you can see the theory and the practical. This is the university theory exam and the university practical exam. So what you need to do, you need to write here the grades. The university will declare the result. You put the theory result here. You put the practical result here. Okay. So likewise, here is the nomenclature, theory and the practical. You put the theory result here of the student. You put the practical result of here of the student. You write the student here also. You copy and paste the student list and copy and paste the student grade for the theory and the practical. Certainly, this is attendance, class performance and attendance. So you have written the 10, 10, 10. So out of 10, how much attendance the student have attended? Means if I conducted the 10 lectures for the CO1, the student attended only the 5. First student attended 5, 6, 7. I can certainly write the again some number. I think we also compile the attendance here. So you can put the attendance, CO wise attendance. You put the attendance. Likewise, the MST. If I conducted the MST of 20 numbers, each carrying the 4 marks, means the unit 1 will be the 4, unit 2 will be the 4. So total 20 marks MST. So how much marks student is getting? You need to write here the student marks. Suppose the student is getting the 3 and 3. Certainly you can write the marks here, whatever the student is getting. Likewise, the theory quiz. If you have decided the assessment method theory quiz, then you will conduct the theory quiz. Whatever the marks student getting, you put here. Likewise, the theory assignment, practical, everything you have to decide over here. You put your marks over here, and this will be calculated automatically. How? This one. So you see the formula, number of students with criteria. The criteria means, what is the criteria? This is the criteria. You are seeing the highlighted one. So I have decided 60% student is getting particular criteria. Then I'm going to the 3, 2 or 1. So what is my criteria? The criteria can be different for different methods. Like for class attendance, I have decided my students should be attend at least 75% classes. So target can be different for different assessment methods. In case of the attendance, it can be 75%, or it can also be given by the university. The university is asking minimum 75% attendance of the student. Okay. So in that case, my criteria for evaluating the class performance or class attendance will be the 75%. Okay. For the MST, I have decided the target of 70%. So minimum 60% students would get the 70% marks in the MST examination. Like theory quiz, 60% students would get the 80% marks in the theory quiz. So like 80%. So it can be decided anything according to your institute, according to teacher. It can be changed anytime. Okay. So if you look forward, my theory quiz is very simple. Every student should score in them. So you can set the higher goal. Okay. So you put there. So according to that, this number will be decided. Means, what is the formula? So if the student is getting the criteria or achieving the criteria, then certainly I will put the 3. How much student? 60% student. The 60% student getting the criteria, then I will put the 3, otherwise 2 and the 1. So this seat is automatically decided. Only the highlighted portion need to be changed. Means the yellow marked area. The yellow marked area need to be changed only. Means you need to put the number of students. You need to put the marks, assessment method marks. You put here, everything will be calculated automatically. Okay. So when you put these numbers, these marks over here, then you will get this mapping here. So you are getting I have just put the numbers in the MST and the attendance. So my attainment level for attendance is 111 and for the MST is 23333. So these are my CO attainment levels. These are my CO attainment levels. Means in the attendance, I have set the criteria 60% students should get the 75% attendance. So I will get the 3, but in that case, I am getting the 1. Means no student is getting the 75% attendance. Why have here 1? I have taken the 1 here because no student getting the 75% attendance for my criteria. That is, I am put here the 1 because the formula is, because I have written the attendance here. So out of 10 student is getting the 5. Out of 10 student is attending 6 classes, 7 classes. So that is below the 75%. The 75% of 10 will be the 7.5. So every student is getting the attendance less than 7.5. So that is why my criteria is not fulfilled. So I will get the, I will get the 1 only. So this is my CO attainment level. Okay. So likewise, if you put the number in all the assessment methods, you will get the 1, 2, 3 attainment levels over here. So these are the method wise attainment level, CO attainment level. In the MST, I have achieved my attainment level. For CO1, I have achieved the 2. Matlab moderately I have achieved, not completely. For the CO2, I have achieved. Means 3 means I have completed my target. Whatever the target I have set, I achieved that. Okay. So likewise 3, I have achieved the CO3 target. So CO3 is getting the 3. In the when I conducted the MST, I have targeted the achievement of my course outcome 3. So that is the significance of this mapping. So it will be automatically decided when you put your numbers of assessment methods in that sheet, that automatically converted over here into 1, 2, 3. After that, this is the average and this is the total attainment level, means the 22%. This is the total attainment level of my CO. So I have achieved the 22% attainment only. Out of 100, I have achieved the 22% CO attainment. This is my attainment level. That is the 22% in that case. And because we did not fill any all the entries there. So if you fill all the entries there, definitely you will get the higher attainment level. Okay. So am I making sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when you achieve the CO attainment level, this is the CO attainment level 22%, then I need to calculate the PO attainment level. Getting my point? So CO attainment level will be decided by the assessment methods, and how we calculate the PO attainment level with the help of CO attainment level. So this is the mapping. The first, the highlighted one is the CO-PO mapping that we did in the previous sheets. So this is the mapping, the highlighted one. Then what will be my PO attainment level? That I need to take the percentage. If my CO attainment level is 22%, then there is a mapping of CO1 and PO1 3. Then what will be the 22% of 3? That is the 0.7. So in the next highlighted table, there is the 0.7. Means CO1 is achieved 0.7 to PO1. Means at the time of mapping, I write the 3 year. At the time of mapping, I write the 3 year. But when I did the assessment, I got only the 0.7. Getting my point? Yes. So at the time of mapping, I just decided that my CO1 is highly mapped with the PO1 3, but I did the assessment. When my student performed, depending on the marks, I got only a 0.7. Means I need to improve here. Yes. So likewise, you can calculate, you put the year 1, but you got the 0.2. Means your target was the 1, but you got the 0.2. How the 0.2? Because the your CO attainment level is 22% and the 22% of 1. 22% of 1 will be the 0.2. So how we calculated? With the help of CO attainment level, we decided the PO attainment level. Okay. So this is the mapping that we previously did. We did the mapping 3, but based on the CO attainment level, we are getting the 0.7. So first table is the CO-PO mapping, and this is the CO-PO attainment. So there are the two tables. The previous table, this table is the CO-PO mapping, CO-PO-PSO mapping, and this is the CO-PO and PSO attainment level. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So finally, so this is the average. This is the average of attainment level. Okay. So finally, when we would calculate the overall PO attainment level, my course will contribute this. So this is the average, the highlighted one. So I will give this average to my NBA coordinator, because in semester 5 courses are teaching. So after 4 years, after my batch is passing, I have just taught the 39 subjects or 40 subjects to my student. For every subject, I will get the PO attainment level. For every subject, I will get the PO attainment level. Or after combining all the 39 subjects PO attainment level, I will finally decide my overall PO attainment level. Am I getting, you are getting this? So every subject will contribute about the PO attainment. Means this, for with the help of my course, what I achieved 0.6 only out of 3 for the PO attainment level. I achieved only 0.6 out of 3 in the PO attainment level. Certainly some POs are not touched, like PO6 I did not map, so I did not achieve, because there is this is a single course. Certainly there is no possibility that every course is touching the every program outcome, but because program outcome is achievable after 4 years or 3 years. If it is a BTech, definitely after 4 years. Okay, so every course is contributing towards the PO outcome. So like I have mapped the PO1, but this course is only contributing the 0.6. So final outcome will be decided with the help of averaging out all the PO attainments of the all the subjects that I am teaching in my program. Am I okay? This I am showing another sheet also you, how we can compile the overall attainment. Okay. My screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you have compiled your PO attainment level for your course, then certainly every teacher have calculated his or course outcome. Then what we will do, we will put here. So this is the overall sheet in which just we are putting, all the attainment level of this one. Okay. So you are seeing I am teaching the first subject. It is visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Sir,
yes,
it's
sir.
visible.
So I am teaching the first subject, EC 301, Energy and Environment Technology. Or this is my PO attainment for this subject. Okay. Or this is my CO attainment level. So I achieve 100%. Basis on that, I can decide the PO attainment level here. So this is the final graph here. So this is my attainment level for the session 21-22. Okay. These are the PO attainment level. 21. This graph is designed with the help of this. Finally, my PO attainment level is this. What I am doing, I am just averaging out. I am just averaging out, combining all the attainment levels of all the subject and dividing with the number of subject. So this is the final attainment level of the PO in the single session. In the course PO-PSO attainment session 2021 and 22, this is my PO attainment level. Okay, so this is a year-wise attainment level. If I need to calculate the batch-wise means one batch, one student have entered into the 21 and 22. So I will need to keep all the records of 21, 22 for the same student, 22, 23, 23, 24, and 24 and 25. And 25 he will be passed out. So for the same student, I need to maintain the record of all the 4 years. from keeping that in a point of view, this is the seat. So this is the seat. So this is the seat for the single student 4 year, means single batch for the 4 year. Okay. So this is my attainment level. So this is the attainment level for the batch 18-19. But the student that have taken the admission in the 2018-19 and he will complete in the 22-23. So this is the complete batch wise attainment level. Single batch attend this level. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so this is all about from my side. If there is any question, it can be asked. टेलीग्राम सर आप हैं? हेलो
हाँ सर।
सालिग्राम सर,
Hello.
हेलो.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. I think sir is in the class,
Okay.
so that's why he's not replying.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. It was very informative session, and I hope all the participants have the brief knowledge about the program outcome and the course outcome. And I request participants, if you have any question, you can ask to sir. If any participants have any question, then they can ask to sir.
If is there any question related to this topic, you may ask also.
So my personal question is with you for this